What's up, everyone? Irving TV, Double I TV, whatever you guys want to call me, as long as it's nothing disrespectful. Because if it gets disrespectful, then I'm gonna get Darth Vader to break your neck like he did that kid. Spoiler alert. And I'd like to welcome y'all to episode 17 of Squirrel Moments, the podcast with my silent co-host, Steven the Squirrel. What's up, Steven? Everything good? That's good. The day that we're recording this is on June 18, 2022. Right now it is 5:50 p.m. Again, around the time that I'm recording this. So, usually I record the podcast early in the morning. I usually record it early in the morning, but I had a lot of run around that I had to do this morning. When I say I had to do a lot this morning, well, the first thing I had to do was finish recording finish editing the last episode of Let's Play Resident Evil 7. So by the time y'all see this podcast, it's already out, but I had to finish editing it. And then there was a whole bunch of other stuff that I had to do this morning. Grocery shopping, car wash. It was a lot of stuff that I had to do, but I got it done. Got it done. So, and I have not stopped yet. And then after I finish recording this podcast, I'm going to a get together. So I'm gonna be tired, but everything's good so far. First of all, I appreciate and I like to, where am I going with this? I like to thank everybody that's been supporting me so far, supporting the podcast, whether you're watching the video version, which is on youtube.com/iIrvingTV, or you're listening to the audio version, which is available on anchor.fm, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and then Apple Podcasts, and whatever other platform they're on. I appreciate everybody that's listening, watching, all that kind of stuff. I appreciate all the support. And if y'all can also do me a favor as well, speaking of support, if you're watching the video version, go ahead and like the video, go ahead and drop comments, all that kind of stuff. Go ahead and share the video, because that really helps out. And then if you're listening to the audio version, make sure to give this podcast an honest rating, but I prefer 5 stars. I'm just saying that's what I prefer, but because that does support the podcast as well. It does help it move it up the algorithm and all that kind of fancy stuff. So, and I just want to bring some more listeners in, bring some more supporters in, and all that kind of stuff. So make sure to follow me on all my social medias, which you're watching video versions on the screen, but I'll just tell y'all, everything is iIrving TV, Instagram, of course YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, all of that. I'm more active as far as like just regular social media goes is Instagram. That's what I'm most active at. So if you come to Instagram, drop comments, send me a message, whatever, I'm gonna respond. That's where I'm gonna respond my fastest. Maybe Twitter as well, but definitely Instagram. So anyway, let's get into it. Enough rambling. Cause Steven looks like he's ready to just chop my neck off or something like that. You ready to chop my neck off, Steven? Because I know you want me to get to the podcast. Well, I mean, I do majority of the talking, if not all of it. I mean, yes, you do have your input, but you're also the silent co-host. Anyway, let's move forward. So first thing, if you watch the video version, you're gonna notice that I cut like my sideburns and all that kind of stuff. And the only reason why I brought that up, because in the last episode I was talking about how I was letting my beard grow and all that kind of stuff, even though I don't really like beards. Then last week I decided to cut it because it was getting too long. So I was like, all right, because what I tried to do at first is cut it down a bit, but I cut too far down. So I'm like, all right, let's just cut basically the whole thing, with the exception of my goatee, of course. So yeah, I had to cut it. So I had the clean shaven face and all that kind of stuff. And then today, right before I started recording, I was trying to, cause you know my hair grows fast, and usually I don't cut it that fast, you know, that often or whatnot. But I was trying to, you know, do a line up, round it up, whatever, and I kind of messed it up a little bit, so I had to cut it down again. But hopefully by next week or 2 weeks from now, it'll be better. It'll get to where I wanted it to be. So I wanted to bring that up real quick. But anyway, so first thing I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna give y'all some personal updates real quick. So I told y'all in the last episode, and I also been tweeting, and I ain't really tweeted, but I put it on Instagram, my social medias, and all that kind of stuff, that I got a new job and I'm no longer at Amazon. So I'm not gonna tell y'all where I'm working at, but if you're watching the video version, I don't know if you can really see it, but my other desk is right there. This is my current work desk that's on the corner of me behind Steven. And yeah, I'm working from home now. So I actually started this week. Again, right now it's Saturday, so by the time y'all get this, probably Sunday most likely. But yeah, I started my first week this week. So, and so far, everything seems cool so far, but everything is just basically orientation, you know, the basic stuff, the HR stuff, benefits, and, you know, things like that. So, but from everything that I'm hearing so far, everything that I'm gathering so far, things seem to be pretty nice. Again, the pay is nice. Good benefits. When I say good benefits, when they first showed us the benefits, you know, especially with the health insurance, oh, I'm gonna be saving a lot more money now. So yes. And then let's just say there's a lot more benefits that's definitely gonna help me, because I announced the last podcast that I've been working on it for a very long time. I've been working on it for like 3-4 years now. But I'm finally pushing, you know, finally pulling the trigger of moving. It's just a matter of now, because I said this in the last episode, but I finally consolidated my loans. I paid a lot of stuff off. I consolidated a lot of my debt, I meant to say, with a consolidation loan. It was really more of a personal loan. But I did that, and I paid off a lot of stuff as well. Paid off my phone. And, you know, I just caught up with a lot of stuff. So now those funds, like my funds are starting to really open up. Plus I got this new job that, again, has good pay. And I learned that they give out a decent amount of overtime and bonuses. So, yeah, your boy about to be paid. I'm still broke. I'm still broke, but I'm going to be paid, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, and then if you're watching the video version, you notice behind me that my bookshelf, my bookshelf has all my Star Wars books and stuff like that, is empty. It's empty. And the reason why it's empty, because I've already started packing some stuff. Again, it's going to be months. I say minimum 3 to 4 months before, you know, I finally move, because I got to save up the money. So that's the biggest thing. But yeah, I've already kind of started the process a little bit. I packed my books, packed my, you know, some shoes, some clothes that I don't wear, you know, knickknacks and stuff like that. So I already started packing some stuff, cleaning some stuff, you know, just to kind of get ahead of the game, which I'm actually, you know what, I'm going to talk about more of that towards the end of the podcast, because that actually is going to go into the Squirrel Moments University segment of the podcast. So I'm gonna talk about that more. But so far right now, the job seems pretty good. I will say it is costing a job. That's the most I'm gonna say. And I have my feelings about costing the jobs. But here's the thing about me. It wasn't the work itself, the cause itself, that finally made me pull the plug on that job. I mean, of course, I got cussed out a couple times, some angry customers and this, that, and the other, which I expect, you know. The problem with the job I was working at, the call center I was working at, is the company itself, the job itself because they wasn't providing us with the resources or the tools to help us, help the customers. And because I couldn't help the customers, they cussing me out. They yelling at me, this, that, and the other. And we didn't have the tools. So I was like, you know what? If you ain't gonna provide me the tools to do my job, I got a jet. And it was causing me so much anxiety and all that kind of stuff. And they were just like so unorganized. But from what I'm learning with this new company, and again, it could, once I get on the phones and all this stuff, things shows, they can start showing their true colors. Because one thing I've learned is to never judge a job. I've worked a decent amount of jobs. I don't do no job hopping, but come on, I'm 28 now, so I've got some experience under my belt. I've been working since I was 18. Well, at least like official jobs. I've been working since I was really 14, 15. But like as far as like official jobs, like company jobs and all that stuff, I've been working since I was 18. So since I'm 28, that's 10 years. I've been working for 10 years now. So I've worked a decent amount of jobs. But one thing I've learned is to never, ever, ever, ever judge the job until at least you're a couple months in. Because if you judge the job based off the first few weeks, you're going to get a rude awakening. And I'm not saying the job I'm working at now is going to be terrible, months down the line. But I've heard so many good things about this job that I'm working at. I've read a whole bunch of reviews. Everything seems pretty good, and I've been hearing... some of the workers that work there now, they're saying that things are pretty good, that they're taken care of, this, that, whoop, good benefits, great discounts, and all that kind of stuff. So things seem good so far. And then, again, from what I'm gathering and from what I've learned with this company so far, there are opportunities to move up. So it's decent amount of opportunities to move up. So that's that. That's that. And because I'm working from home, those opportunities, definitely a lot more opportunities to move up, because it's not like you wait for the opportunity in that building, or if you want more opportunities, you got to travel somewhere else. It's like I'm working from home. So I feel like it's going to be easier to get more opportunities and all that kind of stuff. The only thing I'm worried about right now, as far as like scheduling when next year, when I go back to school, I only got one class to go to, but still. So that's my only concern, but hopefully they'll understand, because this is one of these jobs that have, that help you with school and all this kind of stuff. So hopefully they'll understand. And and once I graduate, get my certification, then I can move into the IT department of my new job. So hopefully, I can do that, within. I'd rather move within, because I'm tired of looking for new jobs. And it's not a problem with working different jobs from time to time. Now, I'm not encouraging job hopping, like you get a new job every 2 months. I'm not encouraging that at all, because usually, like, every job that I had, majority of the jobs that I had, I worked at least a year, maybe with the exception of one, which was a part-time job. I was only there for like a few months. But all my jobs that I've worked in my life, I was there for at least a year. Even with Amazon, it was funny is it was the week before my last week. It was my 1 year anniversary. So yeah, so all my jobs I work at least 1 year, or close to 1 year, I should say, close to 1 year. So, but yeah, I don't job hop, because I don't like it, because you gotta put in applications, and you gotta do interviews and all this stuff. Now granted, of course, if you're getting promotions or moving within a job, you gotta do interviews, and you might have to put in an application, but the process is so much smoother. You're already in the ecosystem, so it ain't like you're trying to, you don't have to do too much. You know who this person is, who to get in contact with, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just done with looking for new jobs. And like, what's funny is people send me IT jobs, even after I told people that, that I got a new job at where I'm working at. People still send me IT jobs, which, don't get me wrong, I definitely appreciate it. I definitely appreciate that people are looking out for me, and I appreciate the support no matter what. But first of all, I just got a new job, so I was like, let me at least get this one, let me fill this one out first. And then it's like, I'm just done with looking for jobs. I am just done with it. I'm not saying that I'm old, because again, I'm only 28, but I'm getting at that age now. I want more stability. I'm just tired of like the stability not being there. Now, granted, of course, my end goal is to be a full-time content creator, which, we still got some ways to go with that. We definitely still got some ways to go with that. But I just want some stability. I that's all I want. And that's another reason why I'm moving, because it's just, I'm not saying where I live at now, me living with my dad, it's not a stable home, because it is. It's like, again, I'm a 28-year-old male. I do want to have a place of my own. I want to finally move on. I mean, again, I've lived on my own before, semi on my own. It was with somebody else, but that situation didn't work out. But it's just, I'm a man. I'm a grown ass man. Like, I need my own stuff. I just want my own space. And plus, I really want to go forward, get things going with this content creation thing. I mean, I get to create content here, don't get me wrong, but I have to respect, my father, because, by the time I want to really record stuff, he's asleep. And I gotta respect that. So I just want my own. I just want to, get this content creation thing on the road. Just be able to get up, not have to think about doing it. Just go ahead and get up and do it. Stream more. Because when I move, I'm gonna stream definitely more often. I'm definitely, that's gonna happen. I'm gonna stream more often. Instead of once a week, I want to stream at least 2 to 3 times a week minimum 2 to 3 times a week. Like, sometimes I stream 2 times a week, but lately it's been once a week. But yeah, but it is what it is. Hopefully, things go well with me moving, with this new job and all that kind of stuff. Because it's time for me to move forward. It's time for me to move forward. I've been feeling good about a lot of things, and it just, yeah. And, and speaking of content creation, that goes to the next thing I want to talk about. Not only, I'm saving money to, move, but, I'm sorry, Steven. What you say? I totally skipped over your input on things. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What you got to say? Right. We getting. Wait. Hold on. Stop. We? Hold on. Wait a minute. What do you mean we? You mean the Nintendo Wii, the Wii U? You mean Wii U? Or, you know what? That came out wrong. You know what? The point is, Steven, you mean we? You got to make your own living. You see what I'm saying? You got to make your own living. Now, granted, if I get more, the more money I get, the more I can invest in content creation, and the more, I can feed you more. If I get more money, that can progress everything, and you get fed more. Of course, when you put in your own work, but what do you mean we? But I love you, Steven. And I think people out there love you too, because when you appear, your first appearance on the podcast, it was so many good things that people had to say about you. So many good things people had to say about you. You definitely, and then like all my women friends, they all say you cute. Hey, don't go feeling yourself now. One of them that said that she's with somebody, and the other two, I don't think you're their type, but they think you're cute. So okay, don't be feeling yourself. So anyway, as I was saying, speaking of content creation and all that stuff, again, not only I'm saving towards getting my own place, but part of me getting my own place is also, to also improve my content and to move forward with it. But also, I've been spending some money on increasing my production quality, and this is what I mean by that. Again, I've been clearing up, my credit cards and all that kind of stuff. But when I have been spending money, it's been on equipment. Like for example, you notice in the background, if you're watching the video version, which you should go ahead and like it and share to all your friends and all that kind of stuff. But if you're watching the video version, you notice right behind me is a TV. This is one of the TVs that I was using because I was using the TVs as TV monitors. Now I'm using actual computer monitors because one, the monitors that I'm using, it's so much clearer. It looks so much better, first of all, because like the other TV that I was using is on the wall and it's very small, but it's like over here. So you notice I always have to look over here. Now everything is within, it's not, I don't have to look all the way over here, then do this and all that kind of stuff. Everything is right in front of me. I might have to nod my head a little bit or like, move my eyes a little bit, but it's so much better. So now they're used monitors. They are used monitors. I got from this place called the Tech Exchange in my city, which I live in Richmond, Virginia. But they're like the Tech Exchange. They're like a local video game store that they do like retro. The main thing is retro, but they also sell some current stuff. They sell a lot of used electronics and all that kind of stuff. And I got a Dell monitor, and I got I think that's how you say it. It's one of the Walmart brands, I believe, monitors. And I bought both of them from less than $200. Now, the crazy thing, I think they're 24-inch. They're even 24 or 27. I don't remember. But the crazy thing is, now one of the monitors is a little, like you can tell it's a little old, but it's still not bad. Now this Dell one is a beast. It is a beast. But for $200 for two monitors, usually one monitor alone, you're spending about at least $200 to $300. So, and the fact that it works, the way that I need it to be. Now, of course, I had to change some stuff around because, of course, with a TV, you put in the HDMI cord, and all I had to do is plug in my headphones, which is another thing. Plug in the headphones to the TV, and I'll be good. And if I unplug it, I got the speakers from the TV. Well, these monitors, of course, most monitors, like standard monitors, don't have speakers in it. So I had to change around some stuff, of course. But it definitely helps out a lot. And then speaking of my headphones, if you notice, there's no wires. There are no wires because I got wireless headphones. And and I think I spent like no more than $40 on these. And these headphones are a beast. I was editing the other day and I heard the bass. I'm like, Lord, have mercy. Now the downside is because it is wireless, and I have like my PC is at the bottom, and I have my desk up here. It's blocking the signal a little bit, so I can't move too far from it. But hopefully I can get that worked out. Yeah, I can hopefully get that worked out. Yeah, that's how dedicated. Oh, is another thing too. Now, this mic that I had this mic for a while now. It's a Fifine or Fifine. Let's go Fifine. Now, the mic before, I had a rose gold version of this, which it was like, I think I spent like $30 on. But this right here, and I'm just talking about it on the stream last night, but this right here, I think it was like $60, $70, because not only has the microphone, but it also comes with the arm as well, as you can see, because I really wanted one of these because it's much easier than having just the mic and having them, just stand on the desk and whatever. But yeah. So, but now the only thing is, this is a USB mic, which is very convenient. And for a USB mic, it still sounds nice. It still sounds nice. You just have to make some adjustments. But I want better. And I want things to be more smoother. So, I bought a new mic. And matter of fact, I'm gonna show y'all right now. If you're watching the video version, I'll be right back. Excuse me, Steven. Anyway, so, and I'm gonna do an unboxing. I'm actually gonna record an unboxing tomorrow. Which tomorrow is Juneteenth and Father's Day. So, yay! So, anyway, So this new mic that I got is a F Deuce. Yeah, that is a funny name. A F Deuce SL40. So yep. And sorry y'all, but the good thing about this mic is, first of all, it's an XLR, which is industry standard. A lot of microphones, studio microphones, all the stuff use XLR ports, cords, whatever. And the thing I like about this is this microphone is basically equivalent to the Shure microphone that is the industry standard. Like if you ever watch like a lot of podcasts, radio shows, a lot of studios, the industry uses Shure. And, you know, I was doing some research on the Shure. Just, you know, I was just looking, you know, just to hear it, all that kind of stuff. Because the Shure is very expensive. You're talking about $200-300, I believe. It's very expensive. It's very expensive. And as I was looking up those, just to listen, watch some reviews and all that kind of stuff, this came up. And the price for it is $80, but the manufacturer, the company, the company F Deuce, the company has a $30 off coupon. So, and the coupon was on Amazon, so it took like I said, $30. I think it was $30. So it's usually, again, $80, $76.50. So I paid $50 for this. So, and again, I watched a lot of reviews on it, and it sounds nice. Like I was watching comparison videos, and you almost couldn't tell the difference. You really couldn't almost tell the difference. So I was like, yeah, I gotta definitely invest in this. I gotta make an investment on this. So, and it comes with the cords as well. So, you know, like most microphones, when you get it, it don't even come with the cords. This one does. So, and not only I invested in that, I'm gonna put this right behind you, Steven, if you don't mind. Matter of fact, no, I'm gonna move that. Not only that, I also got this audio interface as well. I don't know if y'all can see that. Yeah, I got this audio interface, which is used so I can plug that up to my computer. So, yeah, and I think this is like 40, I think. I don't remember the price. I'm not gonna really do an unboxing on this, but yeah. So, yep, definitely, yeah. So this is the last podcast that you're gonna see / hear for all my audio listeners that's gonna have this equipment. And this doesn't sound bad, don't get me wrong, it doesn't sound bad, especially when I did because the last episode I did some adjustments to the volume, all that stuff, and it definitely sounds better, but I want even better. And it's time to step things up. It's time to step things up. And you know, oh my gosh, we're almost at 30 minutes and I'm not even at the news section of it. So I'm gonna kind of speed through things a little bit because I do have somewhere I have to go. But what was I saying? Right. Basically, production is about to go up. You just have to invest in yourself. Like, okay, for all my people that's thinking about going into content creation, streaming, or whatever, you're gonna hear every YouTuber and content creator who's been in this for a while. Your first instinct is going to go buy all the crazy equipment, the crazy and super expensive equipment that you're gonna want, all the super expensive equipment. That's what you're gonna want to get. Don't do that, because the first thing first of all, you're gonna want to know if this is really what you want to do, because some people get into to spend all this money and then don't ever really touch the equipment. After the first couple of times, they just kind of give up, whether it's, you know, it's too hard, or they're not getting enough views, or, you know, they're not getting paid or anything like that. A lot of people just put it up, and then you spend like thousands of dollars on equipment when, you know, that money could have gone towards something else. I'm gonna tell y'all now, and a lot of content creators say this. I don't like calling myself a YouTuber. I don't. I think I explained it before, because calling myself a YouTuber limits it limits me. I don't like the term YouTuber. Of course, if you're on YouTube, of course you are a YouTuber, but I don't want to limit myself, because I'm on Twitch. I got this podcast, which is on again, not only on YouTube, but it's on Anchor and all that kind of stuff. All right, I'm having a squirrel moment. Let's come back. When you first start with content creation, you want to start off small, and the thing is, the quality of your content can be good with cheaper equipment or less expensive equipment. If you really take the time to do the research, sit down, do what you got to do, whatever. If you take the time to research and learn this stuff, you can have some great content with little. With just a laptop and a camera and some video games or whatever you're doing. You can have great content with very few. You can, trust me. Because when I first started off, I just had my PC in some free editing software and all that kind of stuff. So I had like an action camera, which was $40-$50. Of course, I also have my cell phone, which everybody has a cell phone. So that's where you can start, with your cell phone. And the crazy thing is, my old cell phone that I have right now, that is my camera that I'm using. And it looks good, right? It looks good. So that's all you really need. Or if you don't have an extra phone, whatever, or if you don't want to use your phone that often, you got webcams, which you can get a decent one for $50, probably even a little less. You got the action cameras, like the GoPros and all this stuff. I'm not talking about the brand GoPros because they're expensive, but you got like the generic ones, which should cost you no more than $100. If you get a decent one, do some research and all this stuff. The point is, invest in yourself, but only invest real money when you really feel like this is what you want to do. Because this is what I want to do. This is what I love doing. Like, I've invested a lot of money into this. Like the editing software I use now, I usually use Shotcut, which I still kind of use it, but it's more for conversion purposes. But what I use now is Adobe. I use Adobe Edition, and I got the whole Adobe package. So, and when I first got it, it was through my school, and I was getting a decent discount on it. But now I think I paid full price. So I paid $30 a month for this. $30 a month for Adobe. And this is kind of backwards a little bit, but it also is very convenient. Where I do my thumbnails, my logos, my art, and all that kind of stuff, I edit on Canva.com, and that's why I make all my thumbnails on there. And there is a free version. Don't get me wrong, it's a free version. But what I want to do, I had the pro version, so I forgot how much that costs. But I'm basically the point of where I'm getting to, and we got to move on because again, I got stuff I got to do. So if you see me rushing through this a little bit, I'm trying not to rush, but at the same time, it's just things. Like I said, I've been going and going and going and going. I have not relaxed yet today. So, and things just kind of dragged out a bit. But anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. Squirrel moment, Steven moment. The point I'm trying to make is I'm invested in myself because I really want to push forward. I've invested over $1,000 in this, probably a little bit more than that. I've invested a lot of money in this. So, and again, if you just starting off, start small. And again, on my channel, I have a lot of unboxing. The point of my unboxing when I first did it was to it was like the equipment that I was getting that I was actually using. And then I wanted to show other people, hey, you can start this without spending a lot of money. Cause like my headphones that I was using for a long time before I bought these was Five Below headphones. And I think it was like $5-$10, I think. Cause they got the 5 above section in items now. Those has been lasting me for a while now. I know people gonna be like, oh, that's cheap stuff. But if you take care of your stuff, it'll last a while. Like even my blue ones that I had before I bought my black ones, their style is now starting to fade a little bit, like the earmuff parts. They're starting to fade a bit, but they still work. So yeah, Five Below, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, on my channel, I have a playlist for all my unboxings. Well, I have a majority of my unboxings. I still need to go back in there and add some stuff. But really, just start small. And if you really love it, start putting more money into it. But yeah, the quality is about to go up. And again, I've been talking about it. I'm saving up so I can build my second PC and also upgrade the current one that I'm using now. Because this is what I want to do. And right now, I'm not worried about a new camera. Eventually, I'm going to want to upgrade, but I'm going to upgrade this camera when I upgrade my phone. So the phone that I have now, which the camera is better, eventually I'm going to use this one. But right now, I don't want another phone because I don't want to increase my bill or anything like that. But yeah, I'm just invested in myself. And like, not only that, not only like the equipment and stuff, I have Steven on now. Like, I wanted to. And Steven hasn't been only appearing in the podcast, but he's been appearing in my streams. He's been appearing like the last 2 or 3 episodes of Let's Play Resident Evil, and that was by total accident. He literally just so happened to be there. And it's just kind of, all right, let's go with the flow. And yeah, so like, he is an investment, and I'm not saying he's an investment like in it, and he's just some inanimate object. I mean, come on, Steven, you kind of are an inanimate object, but the point is, even if it's not this is going to be an evil thing for me to say. Even if it's like not a stuffed animal, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Steven. But like, for people that's way bigger than me, having other people come in, having editors, having cameramen and all that kind of stuff, camera people, camera women, whatever. Just having that alone is an investment. So all I'm saying is invest in yourself. Now, let's go to the next thing. I finally finished the Halo TV show, right? And the reason why I stopped, because I had to put my Paramount Plus subscription on hold, but I finally finished it. And I'm gonna go by this real quick. This is how I feel about it. I'm not gonna spoil anything for y'all if y'all haven't watched it yet, but put it this way. I give it, as far as like the rating goes, a 3 out of 5. A 3 out of 5. It's not terrible, but you can definitely tell it's unbalanced. The pacing is weird, and it's like, and the story is not bad, because again, the TV show, while I still take things from the canon, this is not really canon per se, but no, the production is decent. It's not terrible. The story is pretty decent. It's just a lot of things. It's just. Put it this way, I like it. I do like it, but I can see why people have problems with it. Like, again, it's not terrible, but I can definitely point out some things. And I'm gonna get to there's another thing I'm gonna get to in a second. Put it this way, the last episode, the way that it ended, justifies for a second season. It definitely justifies the second season, and hopefully with the second season they learn like the mistakes from the first one, and then like they can, I feel like with the ending of the first season, if they do things right, because that first season established everything, now it's like, they can have more action, but it can be, because that's one of the main problems, is not enough action. And again, you're telling a story, so you can't just have a whole bunch of shooting and all this kind of stuff throughout the whole thing. But it does need to be balanced, and that's why I say, it's kind of unbalanced. So, but the way that the first season ended can definitely justify a second season, and then it just hopefully they learn from their mistakes. It could be better writing, better production, because again, it's not terrible, but you could definitely tell, while the budget is decent, you could definitely tell, like, again, some of the CGI wasn't that well, so like you can definitely tell some things are just CGI, but again, it wasn't terrible. So that last episode, the last 2 episodes was great. It definitely picked up the last 2 episodes, but let me just say this real quick, and then we're gonna move on to the to the next topic, to our first news story, which is about Halo, by the way, in a negative way. Let me tell y'all something real quick. So y'all know the new Obi-Wan Kenobi show is out, right? And so far, it is fire. Of course, it has its moments, but it is fire. It is. I don't care what anybody says. It's fire. It's fire. But with that being said, people need to learn how to just enjoy stuff for what it is. And this is why I don't. Well, I'd be lying if I say I don't read other people's comments and reviews on the TV show anymore. Because then I'll be lying if I say that. But sometimes I just be curious just to see what people be saying. Although I don't do that as often as I used to. After the Halo TV show, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop listening to other people's, watching other people's opinion. Not that I cared about in the first place, but it could just kind of have a negative impact on you at times. But it's just people don't enjoy stuff for what it is no more. People, I'm reading the comments, you know, Facebook posts and all this stuff. People is nitpicking every little thing. I'm like, enjoy the the TV show. It's like, are we at that age now and just like we nitpicking, you know, like, oh, like we notice a lot of stuff, or it's just like, are we really just, let me tell you something, if a child was to watch the Obi-Wan Kenobi show now, they would enjoy it, because it's like, they would just enjoy it. Just like me when I was a kid, I enjoyed the prequels. You know, older people was like, oh, the prequels is garbage. But anyway, it just, and of course, you know, I do agree Disney has made some mistakes, but from what I'm reading, people just nitpicking. People was mad, and I don't want to spoil too much, but let's just say there was a very great scene that so, you know, they recast, you know, not recast it, but you know, they Hayden Christensen, which who was the younger, not the kid Anakin Skywalker, but you know, old, I don't want to say teenage / older Anakin Skywalker before he turns into Darth Vader, before he dons the suit. But you know, they casted him, and you know, he's a little bit older now. Although he looks wonderful, like I think he's like 40 something now, but he still looks young. He's aging pretty well. But let's just say there was a scene where you finally get to really see him, and people was nitpicking the fact that, you know, oh, they should have de-aged him and all this kind of stuff. Do you know? And don't get me wrong, I noticed that, but that's only because I'm really looking into stuff. I notice a lot of stuff, but I'm enjoying it at the same time. Like, okay, yeah, I can tell, you know, they could have did a little bit more too. But again, he doesn't look that old. I mean, you might see a few wrinkles here and there, but he doesn't look that old. People are literally complaining that they didn't age. I'm like, really? What is this? What we doing now? And then, like, there was another thing I saw. I was on Instagram, and somebody dropped a comment and asking, why did they use this version of, you know, because it was basically episode 2 version of Anakin Skywalker when, you know, he was still a Padawan at the time. They was like, why did they use that version of Anakin if he looks older? And I comment just to try to clear things up. I was like, because, all right, I'm gonna spoil it a little bit, so I'm gonna give y'all like 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So they had a flashback to where Anakin was a Padawan, and he was training with Obi-Wan, you know, and they donned the Attack of the Clones look. So I comment on it, and I'm like, it's because, you know, I ain't realized wow, we're over the 40-minute mark, and I still haven't got to the breaded potatoes the meat and potatoes of the podcast that I want to talk about. So this might be a long episode, but and I'm gonna try to get by this quickly. But I was explaining to him because it was a flashback of when he was a Padawan. There was like, and then the guy was like, well, it doesn't make any sense because he looked older. And I just left it alone because I'm not gonna end. I'm like, really? are we really complaining about that? He said it was stupid. I forgot exactly what he said, but it's just really, we need to just learn how to enjoy stuff for what it is. It's like, are we really gonna nitpick? It used to be a time we just go out and watch something and enjoy it, and then like if it was mistakes, it was like blatant mistakes. It was just like out there. It was just like, or it was like if it was a small one, we barely even notice it because which is everything is good. So it's like, again, this is a work of fiction. You can't have everything 100%. I mean, granted, the MCU is incredible, but even the MCU had certain moments. It was just like, oh yeah, you can tell it's CGI, but. Anyway, we just need to learn how to enjoy stuff and just enjoy it for what it is and stop nitpicking everything. Right, Steven? Right. Anyway, let's go ahead and move forward. I said I was going to segue into some Halo news, which isn't good. And then they fixed themselves, but it's like, how did this happen? It's like, how did this happen? So, 343 Industry fixes and apologizes for a Juneteenth mistake. And mind you, Juneteenth is tomorrow. Well, it might be today by the time I drop this. Well, you know what I'm saying, Sunday. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. And the mistake that they made, it was just like, I mean, granted, everything gotta, so much people got their hands on the project, but still, like, how did this happen? Like, so this is basically what happened, right? And it happened with Halo Infinite. All right, let's switch over. So this is what happened, and this article is from IGN.com, and this article was posted on the 16th. And it reads as follows. Halo Infinite fixes offensive Juneteenth cosmetic name. 343 apologizes. A nameplate palette title has been changed from Bonobo to Freedom. Halo Infinite developer 343 Industries has changed an offensive cosmetic name release as part of a Juneteenth event. First of all, if you don't know what Juneteenth is, which is now a federal holiday now. It's a national holiday. Juneteenth is the day that all the slaves were free or was emancipated. Basically when all the slaves was free back in 1870, whatever it was. I don't remember the exact date. Basically when all the slaves was free. So it's a celebration of that. Anyway, what was that? Right. Halo Infinite developer 343 Industries has changed an offensive cosmetic name release as part of a Juneteenth event and apologized to fans for what it called a hurtful mistake. A Halo Infinite nameplate color palette released to celebrate Oh my gosh, help me, Steven. To celebrate Juneteenth, a federal holiday in the U.S. commemorating the emancipation of slaves, was named Bonobo, a species of great ape. You see what I'm saying? Y'all see what I'm saying? The offensive name was called out by players, including Sean W. on YouTube, which prompted 343 to quickly change the palette's name to Freedom and apologizes for what it claimed was a mistake. So this tweet was by Sean W. The Juneteenth palette is called Bonobo. I would really like this to be fixed ASAP. Don't really care what happened. Blah, 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 whatever. While the original name refers to an internal tool set, it was not intended to be applied to this content, and we recognize the harm it may have caused, said Halo's senior community manager John Juniasic, I believe, on Twitter. The palette was incorrectly named, and we immediately renamed it via an update. 343 boss Bonnie Ross also apologized for the name, and this is how she apologized. This is what she said. We were made aware of a palette option for our Juneteenth emblem that contained a term that was offensive and hurtful. The team immediately addressed this issue via an update, she tweeted. We are a studio and franchise that is committed, it's getting a little hot in here, committed to inclusivity. I butchered that word all up. Where everyone, you know what's funny? We, again, this is the first week of my job. We literally just had a, inclusivity segment. So anyway, where everyone is welcome and supported to be their true self. On behalf of 343, I apologize for making a celebrated moment a hurtful moment. Halo players have continued to ask for a deeper explanation. However, asking why this item in particular was named Bonobo after an internal toolset and how no quality assurance staff noticed the issue, IGN has reached out to Microsoft for comment. Yeah, that's a good question. It's like, okay, first of all, why was the toolset named that? Like, out of all things it could have named the toolset, it just... Like I said, I'm not saying 343 as a whole is racist or anything like that, but somebody, and it just like how. First of all, let me drink this water real quick. I got some sparkling water. The sparkling water. I'm having a squirrel moment. I'm having a you moment, Steven. Leave me alone, Steven. Just, yeah, how did that slip through the cracks? It's like 343, y'all have a lot, and I love Halo. I love the Halo franchise. I know I was just talking about the Halo TV show and all that stuff. I'm a huge fan of Halo. But this is just how, like, y'all already in some deep waters because you know the way Halo Infinite, the launch and all that kind of stuff. But this, anyway, y'all just need to get it together. That's all I'm saying with 343. Y'all just need to get it together. What you think, Steven? Right. Y'all ain't gonna do, the disrespect to black folks, especially our black and beautiful queens out there. Come on, y'all can't be doing this. And come on, you black too, right, Steven? Well, you're not black. You're more like reddish type. Whatever. You're a red squirrel, right? Brown squirrel. Well, we'll talk about it later. You ain't gotta put it out there. I mean, you appear brown, but I think you might be red. I think. How you don't know? Anyway. Anyway, speaking of more corruption and more craziness, now the whole Activision thing that's been going on, the allegations and all that kind of stuff with the company, with the sexual harassment allegation, all that stuff. Well, apparently, they've been cleared of the allegations. All right, so before we proceed to go any further with this Activision Blizzard story, after recording it, I realized I made a mistake while reading this story. I thought with the investigation that was going on, I thought that the government entity that was investigating Activision Blizzard cleared them, when in actuality, come to find out, it was an internal investigation, not the entity that said that they was in the clear or whatever. So I thought I got them mixed up. I made a mistake. When I was reading it, I thought again it was the government entity that cleared them. So so apparently they still in hot ice, and I still think that Activision Blizzard right now is full of crap and it needs to be some justice. So I'm still gonna continue my boycott and all this kind of stuff, but you'll see as we get farther down the story. So but let's continue, because if you don't know, they was going through this huge lawsuit. The government basically sued them, filed a lawsuit because of these allegations, but apparently Activision has been cleared. And when I first saw the story, I said this got to be somebody trolling at first. But then I looked it up, because I always look up multiple sources, or at least I try to anyway. Like I always, if I see something, I'll Google it, just especially if it seems out there. But sure enough, there was plenty of stories out there. So this article is from Kotaku.com, and it was published this Thursday. So it was published on Thursday on the 16th, and it reads as follows. Let's go ahead and switch. Activision Blizzard clears itself of any wrongdoing. The Call of Duty publisher says it's the victim of an unrelenting barrage of medium criticism. I don't know about that. We'll get to that in a second. Nearly a year after an explosive lawsuit by the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing kicked off a firestorm of sexual harassment and discrimination allegations at Activision Blizzard, a board of directors working group investigating the company has released its findings. Led by a 25 veteran of the Call of Duty publisher, the group concluded concluded there was never any systematic issue with harassment, discrimination, or retaliation at Activision Blizzard. Contrary to many of the allegations, the board and its external advisors have determined that there is no evidence to suggest that Activision Blizzard senior executives ever intentionally, keep that in mind, intentionally ignored or attempt to downplay the instances of gender harassment that occurred and were reported. The Workplace Responsibility Committee wrote to shareholders in a June 16 SEC filing. While there are some I'm gonna skip that word because I'm gonna butcher it. There are some instances of gender harassment. Those unfortunate circumstances do not support the conclusion that Activision senior leadership or the board were aware of and tolerated gender harassment, or that there were ever systematic issues with harassment, discrimination, or retaliation. These findings are aimed squarely at refuted allegations in the DFEH lawsuit and those raised in the November 2021 Wall Street Journal investigation. The latter reported that Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick failed to report a 2018 settlement with an alleged rape victim of Call of Duty Vanguard maker Sledgehammer Games to the company's board. The report also claimed Kotick threatened to have his female assistant killed in the 2006 voicemail and interfered to prevent the co-head of Call of Duty Black Ops Studio, Treyarch, Dan Bunting, from being fired for alleged sexual harassment. An Activision spokesperson told the Wall Street Journal at the time that Kotick had always kept the board informed, apologized to the assistant for the hyperbolic language, keep that in mind, and that Bunting was properly disciplined when the incident occurred. However, the Wall Street Journal reported that he resigned from the company shortly after it asked about the allegations. Bunting denies this. Mr. Bunting's departure had nothing to do with those allegations, of course. His lawyer, Bobby Schwartz, told Kotaku in a statement, calling it the insinuation false and harmful, but not disputing the timeline. The board summary says its investigation was based on email communications, notes, and other source documents, as well as fresh interviews with current and former employees. But the board members don't go into much more detail about the extent of the investigation, how it was conducted, or what raw data was furnished to outside consultants like former EEOC chair Gilbert Casales, I think that's how you pronounce his name, who concluded there was no widespread harassment pattern or practice of harassment or systematic harassment at Activision Blizzard or at any of its business units. It's unclear how, let me read those dates, between September 1st, 2016 and December 31st, 2021. Anyway, I'm gonna finish reading this. It's unclear how many total current and former employees were interviewed as part of the investigation, why it was limited to only the last 5 years, or how much Casella was paid. Casella and Activision Blizzard did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The summary is also hard to square. It's hard to square with the landmark $18 million settlement with the EEOC for recent victims of harassment and discrimination at the company. What we have come to realize over the past several months is that there are many truths about our company, individual and collective, experiential and data driven, and sometimes they can be difficult to reconcile. The board writes, it does not elaborate on the details and nature of those opposing truths, but it goes on to complain about being wrongly maligned by an unrelenting barrage of media and criticism. The rest of the group's findings are dedicated to forward-looking statements about new best practices being put in place, like a new ethics and compliance and a zero tolerance harassment policy. In some cases, these initiatives appear to have been a response to employee demands marshaled together by the ABK Workers Alliance, and in others, they have fallen short of those asks. Current and former Activision Blizzard staff are still calling on the company to directly involve it in the decision-making process for stamping out harassment and discrimination at the company. Some employees have already won that right legally through a successful union election for QA developers at its Raven Software studio. Currently in the midst of bargaining their first contract, Microsoft, set to buy Activision Blizzard for $69 billion, of course, recently announced it will remain neutral on union matters as part of its pitch to regulators tasked with approving the acquisition. And then this update came later. Added comment from Button's lawyer and clarified the allegations against him were alleged. All right, that was a lot to take in. But basically, so they was cleared of. So basically, what they were saying was, like, the lawsuit was saying that, you know, upper management, like, you know, like the executives and all that stuff, the top executives, saying that, like, they basically intentionally ignored all the, you know, allegations, you know, anything that came towards them. So they say they. So obviously, you know, after reading that whole article, you know, there was of course, there's still harassment, sexual allegations still going on. You know, Bobby Kotick with his assistant that threatened to, you know, that alleged to, even though his newer assistant said, yeah, oh, he was just joking, so that basically means he did it. But, you know, stuff still happened. It just, they basically said not to the extent of how the media is putting it, or basically, they basically said that, how am I trying to word this? That they were clear. See, I told you I have problems articulating my thoughts sometimes, or articulating. That the top executives purposely ignored these allegations and these harassments and all that kind of stuff. So for right now, I'm not gonna bash them right now because they've been clear, quote unquote. I think there's still, in my opinion, I think there's still stuff going on at Activision Blizzard, because all these people ain't gonna just be coming out and saying, oh, they did this, they did that, and all this kind of stuff. It just, the executives has been cleared of willingly ignoring that stuff. But again, and there was an article that I came across like months ago that was like Activision was trying to purposefully destroy evidence. So allegedly, but I gotta remember to use that word. But, you know, allegedly. So I mean, maybe they didn't. The investigation, maybe. Put it this way, they've been clear of the charges of, you know, purposefully ignoring the claims and all that kind of stuff. But it could still be happening. It's just the executives been cleared of ignoring these claims. So, but for, again, it's just. So right now, I'm not going to go on them too hard right now because they've been cleared of that. But, I mean, obviously, stuff is still happening in the company, which, you know, some weird stuff happening in the company. And again, Bobby Kotick, he threatened one of his assistants. So whether, you know, he said he was joking, but still, you don't do that. But anyway, let's move forward. What you think about that, Steven? Right, yeah, like I said, yeah, we still got our suspicions right now, but because they have been cleared, quote unquote, I'm not gonna go too hard on them. I might finally stop playing Call of Duty again, even though I've never been really big in Call of Duty. But as far as like Activision Blizzard games and all this stuff, I might just start playing them again, but I'm still gonna keep a close eye on them. But anyway, moving on. Speaking of multiplayer stuff, did y'all know that Gears of War multiplayer almost wasn't a thing? Yeah. So one of my other favorite video games series is Gears of War. And you know, the first one came out in 2006, I believe, or maybe 2005, around that time. I know the first one came out. Ooh, my stomach is growling. I know it came out right before Halo 3, the first one, because the second one came close to that. Anyway, the point that I'm making is that Gears of War almost didn't have a multiplayer, and this article is from the Gamer.com, and it was published on May the 30th. And yeah, this is old, but I still thought this was interesting. It reads as follows. Let me switch over. Okay. Gears of War multiplayer almost never happened. Wonder about what might have been. A former Epic Games developer recently revealed that 2006 Gears of War could have never gotten its multiplayer. The team struggled to make it fun and even considered cutting the whole thing out of the game just a few months before launch. Gears of War is much appreciated for its online modes and even treated as one of the core Xbox multiplayer shooters experiences alongside Halo. However, few of us know that back in the day, the developers were wondering if multiplayer was really necessary. I'm glad y'all stuck with it. According to lead developer designer Lee Perry, the studio was quite small in 2006, so while they wanted to include multiplayer from a very early point, there were just not enough people to focus on that side of the game. As a result, the team put off multiplayer level design until near the end of development, assuming it would be much easier to create than campaign maps. When prototyping finally began, the studio was drawn upon the most popular shooters like Counter-Strike and Unreal Tournament. The developers quickly discovered that something felt wrong and soon put the blame on the fact that all of these games played differently than Gears of War. Instead of light speed encounters, the combat in Gears of War is more about tense tactical close quarters firefights over cover, so the whole thing needed a new angle. Another problem was the imminent release, which implied heavy summer crunch for the team. Yeah, that had to be in order to deliver competitive modes. At one point when multiplayer wasn't coming together, the developers were openly asking, do we just cut this? They of course didn't. The team started designing multiplayer levels just for the signature playstyle in Gears of War, creating open spaces that allow players to control what's going on. It's important to see what the enemy is doing as opposed to they just pop out of the door next to you, Perry explained. The online component was expanded upon significantly in installments, becoming one of Gears of War's biggest strengths. Fans of the franchise will be happy to hear that Gears of War 6 remains in the works. The developer behind the game, the Coalition, seems to be collecting motion capture data for the upcoming title. Rumors have also been floating around to the effect that Gears of War is about to get the Master Chief Collection treatment later this year. So Gears of War almost didn't have a multiplayer, and the crazy thing is, like, how that would have ended up, like, cause now Gears of War is multiplayer is a huge component of it now, especially with 5. And like, granted, Gears of War, especially the first 3, has a solid story. So the story alone, at least with the first one, definitely would have made it a well developed game and all this stuff, and a solid game. But after a while, Gears of War without multiplayer, I don't think it would have lasted this long. Now, granted, they probably would have added a multiplayer when the second one would have came out, but when the second one wouldn't. Blah, blah, blah. Now, granted, the second one had an amazing story. Like, Gears of War 2 is my favorite Gears of all time. Gears of War 2, I put so many hours into that game. The story was solid. The campaign was solid. But the multiplayer was also solid as well. So I'm wondering, like, would it be as big as it is now without the multiplayer? Which, honestly, I can say, I don't think it would have been. It's like, yeah, the story would have been amazing, but after the third one, would they continue the story? Because they probably wouldn't have made as much money. Because a lot of people play Gears just for not for the campaign, just for the multiplayer. What you think, Steven? Right. I just remember when I was younger, you got these bulky Hulk dudes just running around stomping off heads. And not only that, you could do that. And not only you could do that in campaign, but you could do that in multiplayer as well. So I'm like, let's go. But anyway, let's move on because I'm starting to get texts on my phone. So it's time for me to kind of speed things up. So, and I hate rushing, y'all. I'm not going to lie. I hate rushing this because I love doing this and I want to make sure everything that I put out is quality. But it just, things is starting to mush together. And, stuff happens. But I'm a busy person. So, anyway, moving forward with our next story. Y'all remember when I told y'all that I recently upgraded my graphics card? I forgot which one I had previously. I always forget because the name on it is on the side. I know it's a Radeon, but that's about it. But I recently upgraded to the RTX 3050 because the prices are starting to go down. Well, apparently they're starting to get even more cheaper. The prices are continuing to go down. So, anybody that wants to upgrade their PC or think about building their PC, this is the perfect time to do it. Because not only the prices are dropping because of what's going on in the story, which I'm about to explain, but, at least with the GTXs, the RTXs and the GTXs, well, RTXs, I should say. So I'm still learning more about graphics cards, so I'm not 100% solid about them, but I do know that the 40 series, is ready to come out because the 30 series has been out for a while, but the 40 series is ready to come out if it hasn't came out already. But because the 40 series is ready to come out, the 30s are ready to be cheaper. If you want a 30, of course, there's others, but anyway, let's just get into the story and then this will explain more. And this is from tomshardware.com and this was published 3 days ago. So that means it was published, let me see, on the 15th. And yeah, and it reads as follows. Let's switch over. Boop. Below MSRP and only getting cheaper, the GPU doge begins, spurred on by the crypto collapse. We've been watching GPU, what the heck? What is wrong with me today? GPU prices fall since the start of the year, but the past few weeks suggest things could get a lot worse for the graphic cards manufacturers and GPU vendors. That is, in the near future. GPU prices dropped 15% in May. If we've seen similar 10 to 15% drops each month for the past several months, we saw the best graphics cards come back into stock at retail as GPU mining profitability has plummeted, and that was before Bitcoin and Ethereum crashed again, dropping Bitcoin from around 30,000 to the low 20,000s, and Ethereum from 1,900 to about 1,100 in the past week. Bitcoin's value dropped over 30%, while Ethereum plunged by more than 40%. Jeez. This has happened before back in 2018 when it resulted in a massive oversupply of many GPU lines. AMD's Paralis, I think that's how you say that. Paralis GPUs such as the RX 570 and RX 580 went from being widely popular mining GPUs to being cards you could pick up for a song. The low-end RX 560s cost almost as much as the RX 570 for a gigabyte, even though the latter offer more than twice the performance. And it's not just retail prices that will threaten sales. Used GPUs will start to flood the market as people abandon cryptocurrency mining. Not only that, but also, again, with the 40 series coming out, people going to start selling their 30s. Anyway, we're already starting to see some of these effects. Remember just a few months ago when the RTX 3080 couldn't be found for under $1,000. Now it's going for less than $650 on eBay, and we've seen listing selling groups of 6 RTX 3080s for as little as $2,500, $418 each. Wow. I told y'all it's time. With the current profitability of 3080 mining hovering around 85 cents per day at the power costs, even hardcore miners are ready to throw in the towel and see what remaining value they can get out of their cards. Wannabe miners will still be looking at about a year and a half to break even, assuming things don't continue getting worse. This might sound like doom and gloom, but it's actually great news for anyone looking to upgrade to a new graphics card. Not that we're suggesting you run out and buy a used graphics card off eBay, but what the heck was that? See, these are noise canceling, so when I hear weird sounds, I get a little paranoid. Anyway, what the heck? Is that my desk? What is making those weird squeak sounds? That's weird. I think that might just... Oh, that's my chair. Not that we suggest you run out and buy a used graphics card off eBay, but we expect nearly... Sorry, y'all. But we expect nearly every current generation graphics card will soon be found for less than retail prices. Maybe far less. Here's a look at the latest GPU prices, which is... whatever. All right, I'm done with reading that. Basically, the point of this this article is that GPU prices are dropping because, with cryptocurrency and all this kind of stuff, you got your crypto miners and all that stuff. And don't ask me how that all works, because I have no freaking idea. Don't ask me. I barely know how cryptocurrency itself works, so don't ask me about crypto mining. But again, I recently just upgraded my graphics card, so because I think I pay no more than $400 for my 3050. So this is the perfect time if you want to upgrade your PC or even build your first PC or whatever. This is a perfect time to do it. So yeah, and what you think, Steven? I know you haven't built a PC yet, but what you think? Yeah, we're gonna build a PC soon. We're gonna build a PC soon. Of course, the next PC I build is gonna be with my other nephew, because I mentioned before that I was gonna build PC with my nephews, but when I did it, I was only able to get one of my nephews. So, but anyway, we're gonna do it. But anyway, let's get to the next story, which honestly, so wait a minute. Hold on. I'm sorry. So, I'm doing terrible, y'all. Like, again, I'm kind of rushing a bit, because I'm inspected somewhere. But, this is the part of the podcast. This is the IRL, which stands for in real life. This is part of the podcast where I talk about some news stuff that's going on in real life that, affects people. Again, the other stories can also affect, the game stories. They can affect people as well, but this is more of a general. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, as I told y'all before, I just left Amazon. So, it's funny, I came across this story and I almost didn't believe it at first. And I kind of still, because this is kind of alleged, but Amazon may be running out of labor. They might be running out of people, and they might be running out of workers. And this article is from Engadget.com, and this was published on the 17th, so it was published yesterday, and it reads as follows. Leaked Amazon memo says the company may run out of available labor by 2024. Some locals, like California's Inland Empire, are particularly at risk. Amazon is likely to run out of prospective workers for its U.S. warehouses by the year 2024, according to an internal memo that was leaked to Recode. I'm sorry, y'all. Like I said, with these new headphones, there's noise cancellation. So if I hear just like the slightest thing or slightest vibration, it throws me off a bit. The memo contained internal research from 2021 that predicted a looming labor crisis for the e-commerce giant that would hit some areas faster than others. For example, it estimated that Amazon will exhaust its labor supply in Phoenix, Arizona by the end of 2021 and in California's Inland Empire by the end of 2022. It calculated the available pool of workers using factors like income levels and proximity to current or planned Amazon facilities. The report urged the company to take steps to address the future labor gap, such as raising wages, of course, to retain its existing workforce and attract more new hires. It also suggested increased automation in the warehouses. If we continue business as usual, Amazon will deplete the available labor supply in the U.S. network by 2024, wrote the authors of the report. In a statement to Engadget, an Amazon spokesperson said that the leaked document isn't an accurate assessment of its hiring situation. There are many draft documents written on many subjects across the company that are used to test assumptions and look at different possible scenarios, but aren't then escalated or used to make decisions. This was one of them. It doesn't represent the actual situation, and we are continuing to hire well in Phoenix, the Inland Empire, and across the country, wrote Rena Lunick, Amazon's director of global operations and field communications. Automation is, hold on, I gotta respond to this text real quick. Hold up, y'all. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm super busy today. Anyway, automation is something that Amazon has invested heavily in already by acquiring Kiva Systems in 2012, but according to a Wire investigation from last year, Amazon's warehouse robots are capable of handling advanced fulfillment tasks that can only be performed by a human worker. Human workers were once an ample resource of the company. The tech giant is the second largest private employer in the U.S. and is the largest private employer in a number of U.S. states and cities. The company announced plans to hire 125,000 workers last fall, which is roughly equivalent to the population of Savannah, Georgia. But the new hires largely appear to be replacing workers who have been terminated or resign. Amazon's turnover rate is roughly 150% a year, or twice that amount of the retail and logistics industries at large, a New York Times investigation revealed last year. That is ridiculous. As Recode notes, Amazon's attrition rate is even worse in Phoenix in the Inland Empire. It also has to compete with big box stores like Walmart and Target, which are now offering competitive wages to those with warehouse experience. We are hearing a lot of Amazon workers say, I could just go across the street to Target or Walmart. Shihaya Kasushi, I have no idea to pronounce that name, I'm sorry, co-executive director of Inland Empire's Warehouse Worker Resource Center, told Recode. So I am not surprised. I'm not surprised, because here's the thing. Me coming from Amazon, they burn through workers fast. Like, when I say burn through workers fast, again, it said its turnover rate is over 150%. So that means they just burned the workers, and after a while, yes, it's going to happen. I'm not surprised. Again, this is a leaked memo, and according to that spokesperson, it was just going through scenarios. But I can believe it. I can believe that it's happening, because again, you're gonna burn out workers, and again, they pay an okay wage. But again, I was reading an article one day, and I might have talked about it on one of these episodes of the podcast, but Amazon is one of those companies where a majority of their workers is on welfare, food stamps and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, you burning out through employees because, again, you got these high rates, which the rates are ridiculous. The rates are ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And that was part of the reason why I left, because they were just getting way too ridiculous. The short breaks. They say it's 15-minute breaks, but anyway, I might make a separate video about that. But I can definitely believe it. What you think, Steven? Yeah, don't work at Amazon, Steven. Don't ever work at Amazon, because you're gonna go nuts. I don't know what that was. Let me take a drink real quick, and then I got one more article, and then Squirrel Moments University. This lecture is gonna be quick, and then we're gonna get out of here. Anyway, so here's some local news, some local IRL news. What I mean by local is my state of Virginia, my home state of Virginia. And apparently, Virginia is getting a Lego plant. Y'all heard me correctly. They are getting a Lego plant. And this article comes from Axios. I think I'm saying that right. AXIOS. Axios or Axios.com, and this was published on the 15th, and it reads as follows. Why Lego chose Virginia for its second North American plant. Chesterfield County is getting a massive Lego factory. What's happening? The Danish company announced plans Wednesday. Danish? Oh yeah, they are Danish. Announced plans Wednesday for a $1 billion manufacturing plant. It will be the company's second North American manufacturing plant, joining a facility in Monterrey, Mexico. The plant is slated for Chesterfield's Meadowville Technology Park. So it's literally not going to be that far from Amazon. Because that's literally the area where Amazon is. And is scheduled to begin producing playsets in 2025. The company says it will eventually employ more than 1,700 people and pay an average wage of $60,000 a year. That is nice. Yeah, why y'all gonna wait until I start really getting established to finally bring this into Virginia? Anyway, I'm gonna get more into it. Why Chesterfield? Representatives of Lego cited the company's proximity to East Coast transportation hubs and what the company described as a skilled manufacturing workforce in the region. The company said the site also has space for a solar park. It says it will make the factory carbon neutral. Nice. The states offer $75 million in potential tax breaks. Probably didn't hurt neither. Context. Chesterfield is already home to an array of manufacturing plants producing familiar products, including Maruchan ramen noodles. Okay. Sabra hummus and Trojan condoms. Oh, okay. I think one of my friends works at the Sabra hummus factory. I think he does. Yeah. Where am I at? Oh, yeah. What they're saying, our factories are located close to our biggest markets, which shortens the distance our products have to travel. Karsten Rasmussen, the company's chief operating officer, said in the statement. The intrigue. Governor Glenn Youngkin personally announced Lego's arrival at a press conference Wednesday, gushing that he loves the toy bricks, but in press materials, Lego distanced itself from some of his administration's policies. The company wrote that it chose to locate in a state where the governor is critical of renewable energy because Virginia is one of the handful of states with a plan to transition to a carbon-free power grid, a policy Youngkin opposes. Anyway, that's enough of that. That's amazing. Not only for Lego, but also for the people of Virginia as well, because first of all, it's gonna be amazing because we're gonna be the only, maybe I'm saying this wrong, maybe I got this incorrect, but we're going to be one of the only Lego factories here, because it said it's only 2 in North America. North America, mind you, talking about the continent. And the first one is in Mexico. So that's one thing. And the second thing is, it's going to create jobs. It's going to create jobs in Virginia, in the state of Virginia, more specifically the Chesterfield, Richmond, or in that area. Again, the Meadowville technology area it was talking about, that's literally, it's like not that far from Amazon and the other places it listed. It's literally, that's going to bring a lot of jobs. And it said they're starting around 60,000 a year. That is decent. I mean, granted, we have inflation going on, all that stuff, but that is still nice compared to the 30 something a year that Amazon and most places offer. So that is amazing that, that's going to bring jobs here and all that kind of stuff. And not only that, it's going to be faster for products to get here. So, yeah, what you think, Steven? You about to buy more Legos now? You don't even have Legos. We don't have Legos. I played Legos as a kid, but I never owned that many Legos. Yeah, so anyway, I gotta go soon. So let's finish this part up real quick, and then we're gonna head out. So yeah, right now we are at Squirrel Moments University, SMU. This is the section of the podcast where I give advice or give some type of word, or I give gems where I feel like it can help people, whether it's about mental health. I really don't give too much money advice. Mental health, relationships, anything I feel like that can help people out with, like whether they're my age, older, younger, whatever. So yeah, this is the section of the podcast where we do that, me and Steven. And what I want to talk about today, and then this is going to go to the very first thing I was talking about in the beginning of the podcast. Constantly remind yourself of your goals and work on them. And this is what I mean by that. And it sounds so simple. It sounds so small, but at the same time, this is huge. This is what I mean by that. So I told y'all already that, I'm going to be moving. I'm working on moving by the end of the year, close to the end of the year. And I told you already, again, the bookshelf that's behind me, it's empty. I, already boxed that up and all that kind of stuff. And the reason why I'm starting this early, of course, I'm not going to pack everything up, but I'm doing slowly, bit by bit and all that kind of stuff. And the reason why I'm doing that, because it's keeping me focused on the goal at hand, and it's keeping me excited, and it gets me, it just gets me going. It's getting me, it gets me going, it pushes me farther and inspires me more, because if I'm constantly working on, even if I don't have the apartment now, even if I don't have the funds now, just me packing some things, even if it's just little knickknacks here and there, or even going out, buying cleaning products or all that stuff. Or like one of my plans is, buy furniture as the time go by while I'm still, save money, and then also buy little bits of furniture here and there and all that kind of stuff. It's just keeping me focused. It keeps me excited. It just keeps me, motivated and dedicated. Because if I'm not actively doing something, like for example with the content creation, I'm not gonna think about it. So by me being active on it, whether it's looking for apartments, packing stuff, it keeps me going, and it just pushing. I'm kind of repeating myself at this point. I'm kind of a broken record, because it's not much I can say to it. It's very simple, at least the advice anyway. Like, and even if you're not moving, think about it for a second. You have goals, right? Whether they're big goals, you have small goals, or as my therapist calls it, short-term goals and long-term goals. Like, for example, your short-term goal may be to clean the kitchen and the living room, and then your long-term goal is to redo the house. Now, I know that's a massive jump, but you got to do bit by bit. And one of the things that we do as human beings is we overlook the small stuff. We overlook the small goals. It's like, you know, we overlook the stuff, you know, like the washing the dishes, sweeping the floor, getting the homework done, or, you know, being able to cook, being able to finally, you know, get something to eat, you know, stuff like that. Just small stuff, you know, washing the clothes, just things like that, like the small things, like, okay, I put my clothes in the dirty clothes hamper and all that kind of stuff. And you might be thinking, well, that's what you're supposed to do, which is true. It's true that you are supposed to do that stuff. But because we don't really think about it, it's like, because we don't think about our small goals and the small goals that we accomplish, when we're not accomplishing our long-term goals, our big ones, we get down on ourselves because because we're not thinking about our short-term goals. And so, and the only thing we're seeing, we get this tunnel vision of that long-term goal that we're not achieving, that we forget about all the small goals that we just accomplished. And that's what I've been doing a lot lately. A lot of my small goals I've been looking at, and every time I accomplish it, it's like, okay, I felt good about it. It's a small goals. Like today, I had to vacuum my floor because Lord have mercy, Dusty, who was my rabbit, he is shedding. Like, well, his shedding kind of slowed down a little bit ever since I groomed him. But, you know, of course he poops on the floor from time to time. I finally was able to sweep the floor, vacuum the floor. Not only that, I also cleaned out his litter box, all that kind of stuff. So, and then those same boxes I told you I was packing, I was finally able to get some of them into the attic. So just small stuff like that. It's like, yes, I finally got to it. I finally washed the clothes. I finally put them in the dryer, all that kind of stuff. And then they sit in the basket, which is waiting for me to fold, which I hate folding clothes. But even like that, I fold the clothes, and because I hate folding clothes so much, once I fold it, I feel good because, yes, I finally got them out the way. You know, I will celebrate those small achievements. So again, constantly remind yourself of your goals and work on them. Again, your short-term goals can lead to your long-term goals. Like right now, my short-term goals again is to pack, you know, my little stuff here and there, slowly but surely. And then with me focusing on those small goals, eventually it keeps me on the path. I don't know why I have this flashlight in my hand. I literally just picked the flashlight up from my hand. But it keeps you focused on the long term. It keeps you on the ultimate goal, which again, even though getting a place of my own is a long term goal, I'm gonna put things in perspective. It's technically a short term goal. Getting my own apartment is a short term goal, because the reason why is once I get my own place, I can start making content more and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, that's that. So, you know, it's a long-term goal to help out a small-term goal to help out with a long-term goal. I mean, y'all get what I'm trying to say. And then again, you know, it's short-term because right now it's just an apartment, but eventually I'm gonna want to get a house. So, and that'd be the ultimate long-term goal and all that kind of stuff. So by doing those small things, again, it's all perspective. So by doing these small things, it leads me towards my big goals, my long-term goals, and all that stuff. What you think, Steven? You got anything to add towards that? Right, because what's your short-term goal right now? To find the nuts, right? To find the nuts, right? So that way you can get to the long-term goal of having enough nuts, so when it starts snowing outside and it's time for you to hibernate, you got to store your food, right? That's the long-term goal. Make sure you have enough food for when. I want to watch Ice Age again. What, Steven? You already knew I was corny when you came aboard. You already knew, but you love it though. You love me, right? I love you too, Steven. I ain't gonna lie. The reason why I hesitate sometimes, because sometimes I've been wanting to call you Dusty, because both y'all are animals. So, you are an animal. You're a squirrel. You're a lovely squirrel. You're an awesome squirrel. but you're still a squirrel. You still an animal, but you're also an animal. That's just like Dusty. He's an animal. He's a lovely bunny, but he's still an animal. Anyway. But yeah, that's that. Remember to constantly remind yourself of your goals and to work on them. But anyway, that's it for y'all. That's all I got for y'all. Again, I appreciate everybody that's watching the video version, which again is on youtube.com/IRvingTV, and also for anybody that's listening to the audio version, which is on Anchor.fm, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and some other platforms that are out there. I just appreciate everybody that's listening and supporting. And for anybody that want to financially support the podcast, you're not obligated to do this, but if you want to, you can Cash App a donation, which my Cash App is $IRvingTV, which is also on the screen if you're watching the video version. Yeah, again, you don't have to financially support me. Just just y'all watching, listening alone. Again, liking the video, rating and all that stuff, that helps. And plus, by listening to the audio version, if y'all already know, I have an ad in the beginning for Anchor.fm. I still haven't made it over $1 yet, but even then, just listening for y'all, y'all listening, that supports me. So again, y'all don't have to give me money. Just by listening, watching, sharing, rating, all that kind of stuff, that supports me. That's the biggest thing that supports me. That supports me and Steven, right, Steven? Right. So anyway, that's the end of the podcast, y'all. Again, I appreciate it. I thank y'all for listening, watching, and all that stuff. I hope y'all enjoyed yourself. And as usual, promoting peace, gaming. One more thing. This is the last time y'all gonna this is the last podcast that's gonna be recorded with this mic. Again, I got the new mic and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, but yeah, as usual, promoting peace, gaming, and wings.